In a bustling little town called Imbalene lived a young woman named Azote. Azote was known far and wide for two things: her beauty and her stinginess. She was so stingy that if a coin fell from her pocket, she would chase it down the street as if it were her long-lost child. If she bought a loaf of bread, she would slice it so thin that you could see the sun through it. But her stinginess showed itself most clearly in her hair. Azuti loved braids. She loved how they made her look elegant, how they swung when she walked, and how they made her the center of attention at weddings and markets. But braiding hair in Imbalene was expensive. The hairdressers charged good money for their time, and Azuti hated spending money. So one day, after saving for months, she finally went to the best hairdresser in town, Mame Ejewa. Mame Ejewa braided her hair into long, neat and beautiful plaits that reached her waist. When Azuti looked in the mirror, she nearly fainted from joy. "These braids are perfect," she exclaimed. Mame Ejewa smiled. "Yes, but remember, my child, braids are not forever. After a few weeks, you must take them out and let your hair rest." Azote nodded politely, but in her heart, she thought, "Take them out? After spending all that money? Never. These braids will stay until the ancestors themselves tell me to remove them." For the first month, Azote's braids looked fresh and shiny. She walked through the market with her head held high, swinging her plaits like a queen. People admired her, and she felt proud. But as weeks passed, the braids began to loosen. Stray hairs poked out, and the shine faded. Still, Azuti refused to take them out. "Why should I waste money?" she said to her friends. "These braids are still good. They just need a little adjusting." So she bought a jar of hair gel and plastered it on the braids until her head shone like polished wood. By the second month, the braids had started to itch. Azuti scratched her head so much that people thought she was sending secret signals to the birds. One afternoon, her best friend Lamisi asked teasingly, "My friend, are you keeping those braids for a wedding or your funeral?" Azuti answered defensively, "Do you know how much I paid for them? I must get my money's worth." "Money's worth?" Lamisi laughed. "My sister, even the flies are getting their money worth. Look, they are paying rent to live in your hair." Azuti's mother joined in. "My daughter, what is this disgrace? Your head looks like a haunted forest. Even the ancestors are embarrassed on your behalf." "Mama, leave me alone, no. These braids are still strong." "Strong? My child, even the broom I use to sweep the yard is neater than your head. If you don't unbraid that hair, I will call the tree cutting department to cut it off." "Mama, no. This is an investment." "Investment? Ah! The only thing invested in that hair are flies and cockroaches." Mr. Danso, the nosy neighbor, concluded. "Hey, Azote, please do something about that hair. Every time the wind blows, the smell comes into my house. My wife thought I was hiding a rotten fish under the bed." Azuti, offended, said, "Mr. Danso, mind your business." "This is my business. Your braids are affecting the whole neighborhood. Even my dog refuses to sleep outside now." To hide the frizz, she wrapped colorful scarves around her head, but the scarf slipped and the braids stuck out like wild branches. Children in the village began to call her Auntie Porcupine. By the third month, the braids had taken on a life of their own. They smelled faintly of smoke, dust and cooking oil. When Azuti walked, flies followed her as if she was a moving feast. One day at the market, a goat sniffed her head and tried to chew on one of her braids. The people laughed so hard that Azuti ran home in shame. Still, she refused to remove them. These braids are investments, and investments must last, she muttered. By the fourth month, strange things began to happen. One morning, Azuti woke up to find a small lizard crawling out of her braids. Another day, she heard chirping and realized that a bird had tried to build a nest in her hair. Her friends stopped visiting, and even the children who once teased her now ran away in fear. "The braids are haunted," they whispered. One sunny day, Mama Ejewa herself came to Azute's house. She took a look at the braids and gasped, "My child, these are no longer braids, they are forests." Azuti tried to protest, but Mama Ejewa grabbed her comb and scissors. It took 3 whole days to unbraid Azute's hair. They found twigs, seeds, and even a lost earring that Azuti thought she had misplaced months ago. When it was finally done, Azuti's head felt so light that she nearly floated away. She looked in the mirror and burst out laughing. From that day on, Azuti learned her lesson. She still loved braids, but never kept them longer than a few weeks. Whenever people teased her about stinginess, she would laugh and say, "At least I never grew a bird's nest on my head again." And so, the story of Azuti and her never-ending braids became a favorite tale in Mbaleni, told whenever someone tried to hold on to something for too long. The end. Thank you for watching my video to the end. If you enjoyed the story, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to my channel for more African tales. Until next time, may your path be blessed.